Imagine a time when Rome stood as the undisputed master of the Mediterranean. From the sun-baked shores of North Africa to the misty isles of Britain, the Roman Empire commanded vast territories and diverse peoples. Roman legions, renowned for their discipline and might, enforced the law and secured the borders. Magnificent cities, adorned with awe-inspiring architecture, showcased the empire's wealth and sophistication. Aqueducts carried fresh water for miles. Advanced sanitation systems improved public health, and a complex network of roads connected the far-flung corners of the empire. Roman law, a masterpiece of legal thought, established a framework for justice and governance. But even at its zenith, cracks were beginning to appear in this seemingly invincible edifice. The Roman political system, once a model of efficiency and balance, gradually succumbed to corruption and instability. Ambitious generals, hungry for power, used their legions to further their own interests, leading to frequent civil wars that drained the empire's resources and manpower. The assassination of emperors became commonplace, creating a climate of fear and uncertainty. The once revered Senate, a symbol of Roman democracy, was reduced to a puppet body, its power usurped by emperors more interested in personal gain than public service. Extravagance and decadence became the norm among the ruling elite, while the plight of the poor and marginalized was largely ignored. The traditional values of discipline, self-sacrifice and civic duty, once the bedrock of Roman society, were gradually eroded. This internal decay weakened the empire from within, making it increasingly vulnerable to external threats. Rome's economic prosperity, a cornerstone of its power, began to crumble under the weight of its own vastness. Constant wars and expansionist campaigns had depleted the empire's treasury. New sources of gold and silver, essential for minting coins, became increasingly scarce. The government, desperate for funds, resorted to debasing its currency, reducing the amount of precious metal in each coin. This led to a sharp decline in the value of money, making everyday goods and services increasingly unaffordable for ordinary citizens. The reliance on slave labor, once a pillar of the Roman economy, also proved detrimental in the long run. The once thriving trade networks that crisscrossed the empire began to unravel as piracy disrupted sea lanes and barbarian incursions threatened land routes. Section 4. Crumbling defenses, military defeats, and barbarian invasions. The Roman army, once the mightiest fighting force the world had ever seen, found itself overstretched and weakened. Centuries of constant warfare had taken their toll. The legions, once comprised primarily of loyal Roman citizens, were now increasingly filled with foreign mercenaries who lacked the discipline and loyalty of their predecessors. Barbarian tribes, emboldened by Rome's internal weaknesses and lured by the promise of wealth and land, launched increasingly daring raids into Roman territory. The Battle of Adrianople in 378 AD marked a turning point. The Visigoths, a Germanic tribe, inflicted a crushing defeat on a Roman army led by Emperor Valens himself. This stunning victory shattered the myth of Roman invincibility and emboldened other barbarian tribes to challenge Roman dominance. Section 5. A city sacked, the fall of Rome to the Visigoths. In 410 AD, the unthinkable happened. Rome, the eternal city, the heart of a mighty empire, fell to the Visigoths led by Alaric. For centuries, Rome had been considered impregnable, its high walls and fierce legions deterring even the most ambitious of invaders. But now, weakened by internal strife and economic hardship, Rome lay vulnerable. The Visigoths, facing resistance from the Roman garrison, besieged the city, cutting off its supply lines and starving the population into submission. When the city gates finally swung open, the Visigoths poured in, unleashing a wave of plunder and destruction. The sack of Rome sent shockwaves throughout the empire and beyond, signaling the end of an era. Section 6. From the ashes, the rise of barbarian kingdoms. With the Western Roman Empire crumbling, new powers emerged from the ashes. Barbarian tribes, once on the fringes of Roman society, carved out their own kingdoms within the former empire's borders. The Visigoths established themselves in Spain, the Vandals in North Africa, and the Franks in Gaul. These barbarian kingdoms, initially characterized by instability and conflict, gradually adopted Roman customs and institutions. They embraced Christianity, learned Latin, and incorporated Roman law into their own legal systems. In many ways, they became the inheritors of Roman civilization, albeit in a transformed form. Section 7. Rome's enduring legacy echoes in the modern world. Even though the Roman Empire met its demise centuries ago, its legacy continues to resonate in the modern world. From the languages we speak to the laws that govern us, the echoes of Rome are all around us. Roman law, with its emphasis on justice, fairness, and the rule of law, formed the basis of legal systems in many parts of Europe and beyond. Latin, the language of ancient Rome, may no longer be spoken as a native tongue, but its influence can still be felt in many modern languages, particularly Romance languages such as Italian, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. Roman architecture, with its grandeur, scale, and innovative use of materials, continues to inspire architects and engineers to this day. Perhaps the most enduring legacy of Rome is its idea of empire itself. While the Roman Empire ultimately succumbed to internal weaknesses and external pressures, its impact on the course of Western civilization remains immeasurable.